Welcome back, episode 52 of Revisited. And with the last episode, this kid was pushing really hard for something Danganronpa, so we decided to do something Danganronpa, but I wanted something Dragon Ball, and this is the video that I wanted, so we're just doing it. It is Dragon Ball is Overhated by BAZARK Killa. Killa. Don't put the ER on that. It changed the context of the word.
I do not believe that it is overhated.
I believe in some aspects it is.
What? Because I was trying to think, like, what is over criticized that I don't particularly agree with?
I think there are some people out there that's just like Dragon Ball is the worst thing ever.
Of course, yeah, you're always gonna get those.
Beyond those, anybody that is thinking about it rationally, I don't think there's too many overhateds. But people are just like, it's the worst ever, and acting on emotion. I think it is overhated in that aspect.
Yeah.
Beyond that, no.
For a couple of fringe people, it's not really worth making a video on. This sounds like it would be the majority of people say this, and thus
I need to make a video to prove why it is incorrect what y'all are saying.
Let's check out the description. Out of all the anime I've seen, the Dragon Ball series is by far my all-time favorite. But throughout its time, it's faced a fair amount.
Okay.
But throughout its time, it's faced a fair amount. And I would definitely say
criticism?
Okay, it's definitely faced a fair amount, and I would definitely say an unfair amount of criticism. There's no comma there, so I'm just like, what the... So in this video, I address the main criticism most people have with the series.
Ooh, no. The things people...
There's so many to go through.
I don't think you can address them all in 17 minutes.
Especially, he said the series, so that's Dragon Ball Z, GT Super.
He'll probably on GT.
And there's not too much to say about Dragon Ball that is just like, boo, Dragon. It's mostly the Z and Super. So, I'm wondering what the arguments are.
I can't even think. Let's get into it.
What's up, guys? It is BAZARK KILLA here, coming at you with a new video today. Obviously, you know by the title, is about Dragon Ball. In the first half of this video, I do show some YouTubers stating some negative opinions about Dragon Ball. So if you are a fan of their content, please don't take it as if I'm trying to be negative or say that they're...
Last month.
Okay. Oh, what if we were in here?
If you are a fan of their content, please don't take it as if I'm trying to be negative or say that they are not entitled to their own opinion.
What?
The shield already.
People are entitled to their own opinions. They're entitled to their own opinions, darn it. Let them have it. And let people say that people are entitled to their own opinion.
This is not under scrutiny. This is not under debate.
It should be understood implicitly. But some people feel the need to say that because there are the comments that will jump down the people's throats. It's half the fault of the creator, half the fault of the audience.
How's it the fault of the creator?
Because they feel the need to say that.
And that. I feel like it's just a response to what they see all the time. Like the dude on Twitter that was with Totally Not Mark talking about, you acted like everything you were saying was facts in the... Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's just there's so many of those people just like, let's stop. Okay, I think this is what it is. Let's not even bring up the opinion stuff, because all it's going to do is stifle the actual discussion I want.
Don't even bring it up whatsoever. You don't have to say that everybody's entitled to their opinion. You don't have to say this is your opinion. Just don't even. We understand. Everybody understands, and the people that don't, they're really not worth talking to.
And if you are someone who's a huge fan of Dragon Ball, please don't take this as a way to send hate their way or negativity. And if you are someone who's checking out this video and you do not like Dragon Ball, that is completely fine as well. All I ask is that you watch the video all the way through the end and tell me whether you agree or whether you disagree. With the first disclaimer out of the way, let's dive into the video.
Dragon Ball is the worst long-running shonen ever.
It's close.
It's close. It's definitely close. Super. If it was
really
just Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, GT.
Not even GT. I'm just thinking in my mind, manga proper, Dragon Ball.
Just those two things, then Naruto would have taken the ball and ran with it.
Yeah.
It'd have been the Flash.
Dragon Ball probably would have been closer to like mid tier.
Yeah.
Because the early stuff is really good. Even the early stuff of quote unquote Z is really good up until the end of Frieza. And there's aspects of good throughout the rest of the series. It's just bogged down with a lot of devaluing the action scenes by just becoming atata. Yeah, I think it would probably just be around mid tier.
It would definitely be mid tier.
But Super just
Super hurts it so much. It's not only weakening Dragon Ball as it goes on, but it's just like retroactively making Dragon Ball itself worse. Just like introducing more and the Patara thing, crap like that.
Also, Nutstaku is terrible.
I mean, yeah, I'm always thinking about him, so rent free.
Shonen ever.
To put Dragon Ball Z at an S tier.
If he's just generalizing and he's talking about like Dragon Ball as a whole series, I can see why people like it so much because people grew up with it, right? The only thing I can say is good about it is not even the fight scenes are that pog. There's just not much like build up or character, right? It's just Goku's trying to get stronger. He gets it.
I disagree. Until Boo. I think there's a lot of characterization. I think there's a lot of characters.
It's just not done particularly well. Mm-hmm. It's very, very basic. Like Bulma, there's basically no change or any sort of development exploration for her. But she is Bulma. There's no reason why Bulma should be like, hey, maybe genocide is wrong. Like, there's no real change for her to go through.
Goku's trying to get stronger. He gets his ass whooped, comes back and beats the guy and say, yeah, I saved the world. And death doesn't mean jack shit in this anime. It's just poorly written. I don't know. The show's too scared to kill anybody, even if they're like sideline characters or spectator characters.
I mean,
the show is not too scared to kill people. They kill people all the time. It just means nothing.
I think he means permanently.
Oh, I mean, who would you kill permanently? Roshi?
I mean, the people that don't matter, there's no reason why they should be alive. Like,
but
the Yamcha, Tien, Krillin trifecta, where there's like, there's no way that we can bring them back. The Dragon Balls, they done been wished back already, blah, blah, blah. And then they just got brought back and did basically nothing.
But
like, what would be the harm of leaving those 4 people dead?
I think there's a benefit to having some of them alive, though. Maybe not Yamcha, like kill him. But I think there's some value to Krillin. Maybe not Tien, but I don't think it's scared to. I just think they don't want to. It's like saying Oda's scared to kill people.
It's definitely not scared to. It's just, how would you make a situation where this person could not be brought back after all this time?
Yeah, it's impossible now.
Because you just got Whis as well, who can just poop and you're back alive. You got
The
4 sets of Dragon Balls. You got different timelines of Dragon Balls.
The only thing it could be is one of the Zenos taking you completely out of the timeline.
And who's to say that the Super Dragon Balls can't even bring that back? Because they can do anything. So that's my perspective. It's just like, there is no real situation that nobody can be brought back, unless it is in fact just like, hey, Zeno just goes, our entire universe is wiped out. There's nobody in this universe to use the Dragon Balls to wish people back. But then that's just the end of the series, unless we hop over to another universe, which would be lame.
Characters or spectator characters.
I mean, what I think about Dragon Ball, like Dragon Ball Z obviously was a massive part of my childhood, but it's a bit mid, right?
Here's what I'll say. The single most overrated thing of all time, Dragon Ball Z. Single most overrated thing of all time.
Pause. Demon Slayer.
Yo, Demon Slayer,
is
dude.
is running right alongside that Naruto. Cause my goodness. At least Dragon Ball, there's a lot of good there. Dragon Ball as a whole, the pre-Z, 7, 8, 9, really good. Good stuff there.
various parts of Z.
Z, a bit of a roller coaster, goes up and down, power escalation and all that stuff. That's when the problems start coming.
I'd say
but,
it ranges between 5 and 6.57.
Yeah, it's mostly just inoffensive whatever. Demon Slayer, there's so few good things in that. So few, and it's getting all it is. The theme song was the Olympic ender.
Yeah.
I'm like, of course it is. So no, this was a month ago. Yeah, that person was wrong. I don't know when that video was made, but pre-Demon Slayer.
I know, because it said the single most overrated thing ever.
Well,
in the history of time.
They can't look into the future. So let's
No. I'm talking about the past.
You know, I'm saying pre-Demon Slayer. I'm trying to think. Is it the most overrated
thing ever? Thing, not shonen, not anime, not manga.
What are we?
There's artists that are thing.
What are make
Justin
the
Bieber.
argument? I mean, I don't know. Do you have an argument other than just saying Justin Bieber?
He was super overrated as a kid.
No. Do you have? Are you saying that
Okay.
he should be at this level? And what is your evidence that he should be at this level?
Okay, so are we talking popularity or are we talking quality?
I don't know.
Because
No, I'm thinking that they mean overrated as in popularity, because it can't be quality.
Yeah, I can't do anything with popularity.
Okay, so from what I know, I was just trying to think like what could be up there with Dragon Ball.
I think Baby is one of the few music videos in the world that has 1 billion views.
That's fine.
I don't know.
But when people think anime, that's
Dragon Ball.
always one of the top 5 things, top 3 maybe.
Batman.
Even all this time. All right.
So, Dragon Ball. Loved by many and definitely hated by many as well. One of the most iconic and polarizing.
It is one of the most iconic.
No. There are no levels to iconic. Iconic means relating to an icon. Dragon Ball is an icon of a series. It is iconic. It is not more nor less iconic than the next thing.
I believe there could be levels to iconic.
How so?
Whitney Houston and Michael Jackson.
Yep.
Though
Both iconic.
Yep, both iconic. But you're not gonna put Whitney Houston in the same tier as a Michael Jackson.
Musically?
Yeah.
Or
Musically,
performance-wise?
performance, talent.
That goes into opinion stuff.
Sure.
Factually, you are...
They are iconic.
Yes.
But then we can bring some opinion in here so we can not all have them all at the same level.
Okay.
I understand that in the Bulls freaking arena, there's 15 jerseys hung up. We know.
But look at it like this.
Roddy Pippen ain't up there.
Once you start putting opinions in and trying to raise and lower the level, you're no longer talking about the iconicness of that person, thing, or piece of media. You're now just talking about what they are quality-wise compared to the other person. Mm-hmm. And that has nothing to do with them being an icon.
But within the sphere of them being iconic, now we are grading them.
That's impossible. Because iconic is just a thing. Like, it's just what it is.
But if we were to just like put it in a box, just like here are the not iconics and here are the iconics, and we pick these two out of that box, it's like, okay, now that we got these two out of the iconic box, we know that these two are iconic. Now let us grade these two against each other,
based
both
on
knowing that they are iconic. We're not gonna match up Michael Jackson versus a Milli Vanilli.
Mm-hmm. No.
That's icon versus not iconic. But these are two iconics. They're on the same level of icon. But now we need to figure out which one is higher or lower.
Oh, based on
opinions.
No, based on who's more iconic.
No, what makes something iconic? And then once you figure out
popularity, recognition, and mind share, I would say.
and there you go.
But you're not more iconic because you have more of a mind share. You are just iconic. Nobody's not more of a Hall of Famer.
Yes,
They're
they
just
are.
a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
No, there are better players, but no one is more.
In like I said, in the arena, all 15 jerseys are up there, but we know which one should be raised up 2 inch higher.
But even with that thought process, it's not like Michael Jordan's jersey is more retired than the other ones.
No.
They're just all retired jerseys.
Absolutely.
Now, there is one that is standing out amongst the retired jerseys because they were a much better player and one of the greatest of all time. But when you're looking at what are the retired jerseys, you're not going, hey, Michael Jordan is more retired jersey.
No, you're not.
It
It's
is
not
just
more
a-
retired, but it is more iconic.
It's not. It's the same level. They're all retired jerseys in the rafters.
Yes, objectively they are all, but then subjectively it's not.
Subjectively, you're no longer talking about iconic then.
Yes, you
You're just
are.
talking
You're
about-
comparing icons.
You're comparing icons, but not in the sense of how they are iconic, but how they do against each other. Charles Barkley and Michael Jordan are both iconic basketball players. So when you're talking about comparing their stats and stuff and which is the better player, you're no longer talking about how iconic Charles Barkley is.
No,
compared
we
to-
know baseline they are iconic,
Okay.
and now we are matching them up against each other to see who is better in whatever field we're
Yes,
talking about.
better!
And then they become more iconic because of it.
No, that's not it. Because iconic is just iconic. It's like a category. You're not more horror. You're just a horror film. It's just a category.
No, but then within the category, we can rank things.
Yes,
And then
you are.
once something becomes higher than something else, it becomes
No, it's
more.
it's not more horror.
No,
it's a better horror.
It's a
movie.
better horror movie, and thus it can be said that it's more iconic.
No. It's a better horror movie, so it's better within this framework of the horror genre, but it does not make it more horror. And that's my thing. Iconic is just a category. Iconic is relating to an icon. You are an icon. Everything you do is iconic. So if you're going, hey, this is a better player, 2 icons, this is the better player of the icons, yes, they are better within the realm of an icon as a player.
So what's
but
wrong
they are
with just saying that they are more iconic?
Because that's not factually correct. Just like when we say good versus light.
But it's not factually. We're not talking about facts right now. We're talking about what makes them more iconic, what makes them better in the frameworks. And unless you're doing hard numbers, hard stats, Michael Jackson sold this much, Whitney Houston sold that much. But if you're just going, I like Michael Jackson singing better.
Mm-hmm. That doesn't make him more iconic, though. Just because you like his singing. And that's my whole point.
No,
Michael Jackson is an icon. Whitney Houston is an icon. Whatever they do is iconic. There is not more iconic. It is just iconic.
And I believe that there is more iconic.
Hey, people in the comment section, who was correct on this one? Who do you agree with? Leave the likes.
The likes. That doesn't.
Leave the likes. Drop the bell.
So such an early tangent.
Amazing anime and mangas of all time, but not just in anime and manga, in entertainment in the realms.
We've already gone through this.
This is the same, dude. So what's funny is, both Wolf and this person used this clip. Not Wolf. Totally not Mark. Used this clip. Is this what y'all got? Is this all y'all
there's
got?
plenty of other ones.
Because Billy and Mandy did it. They did a whole episode based on it.
So did Kids Next Door.
So why are y'all only using this one thing?
It's very easy to do.
as well. From its inspirations to its amazing amount of longevity to its exceeding amount of popularity, has gained an amazing amount of praise, but also a fair amount and even unfair amount of criticism.
I like that little backing track of the first opening. It was just sort of slowed down and groovy. I like that. When did he put that in the description? I really like that.
An even unfair amount of criticism. So today's video is about why I think Dragon Ball is overhated and definitely misunderstood and misrepresented. Obviously, quick disclaimer as usual, Dragon Ball is my favorite series of all time, as well as I do think it is the greatest anime franchise of all time. I'm fully aware that it is not for everybody and that it is.
So now we're in the territory of both best and favorite. Those are two totally separate camps that he put this into the same one. I wonder what the arguments are gonna be. I wonder, does he recognize? I hope he recognizes that they're the flaws of Dragon Ball and things like that.
He said it did receive criticism and unfair criticism, which means he believes there are some fair criticisms to it.
Everybody, and that it is not perfect. I'm also aware that others have other series and stories that they prefer over Dragon Ball, but just like every other anime, manga, or story, or every other form of entertainment, it has its own flaws. I would even state some of those flaws as well to make sure people understand that I'm not trying to be biased and or sound like
You are absolutely being biased. I'm tired of this as well. Bias is coming into anything with a prejudice, it favorably or unfavorably. This is your favorite anime of all time. You are biased. That is not a problem. Bias is not a problem. Being more objective does not make your criticism better.
Yeah, it does.
You're right.
a stand or an elitist. So let's talk about why I think Dragon Ball is heavily misunderstood and is definitely overhated now. Now, one of the biggest labels that I see from anime and manga fans is that Dragon Ball fans are blinded by nostalgia. Now,
not all of them, a lot of them are.
Yes.
I've seen way too much. I've Reddit, Twitter, videos of just people.
I grew up on it, and it is my favorite of all time because nothing else has ever captured how I felt.
That type of thing. It's the fact that you have to state that out the gate. You just go, all right, so now you're thinking about it in the lens of when you were a child and all the childhood memories and happy and good and fun. I remember the first time that I watched Goku go Super Saiyan and I tried to do it in the mirror. Yeah.
To be fair, that is fairly true. There are a lot of Dragon Ball fans that watched it when they were kids and still love it to this day. Even some definitely older than me. My first real interaction with Dragon Ball as a series was my older brother. He pretty much had everything from action figures to posters, and before there was social media around and Kiss Anime, he had videotapes. As well as, of course, the video games. I really do understand now why people be saying that Dragon Ball fans are fairly nostalgic, because it really is a fun trip. But the main criticism here is nostalgia. Saying that a series can't be good or great or even, in my opinion, a masterpiece because you watched it when you were a kid is kind of ridiculous. Because even though...
Okay, so I agree that to say that it can't be as good as you thought when you were a kid is ridiculous. You could love something as a kid and it could be a masterpiece growing up. However, Dragon Ball has so much flaws that you cannot say that people do not overlook those flaws because of the rose-tinted glasses.
Yeah, the arguments don't follow once the nostalgia, I watched it when I was a kid, stops. It just goes, it's so hype, fights are so good, barely recognizing the flaws. So, yeah, it's a bit odd that people do that, but, you know, it's people.
I'm about to bring up certain examples. I understand that these are targeted by a different audience because it is truly to bring out the criticism and the point about nostalgia. So for my examples, I'm
starting to hate the way he's saying nostalgia.
It's fine.
Hajime no Ippo, Vagabond, Berserk, One Piece, Hunter x Hunter, Yu Yu Hakusho, and even Sailor Moon cannot be considered great series because fans are blinded by the nostalgia.
No, pause. You would have to indicate that a lot of people watched something like Ippo as it was coming out, and instead of, because it wasn't readily available until like the early 2000s maybe, so that's out the gate. On
top of that, those things are one, still running from their original continuation, a lot of them, and two, Ippo is not regarded as one of the greatest series of all times, whereas Dragon Ball absolutely is regarded as one of those things, even though Ippo is of higher quality.
And I can also just go, hey, yo, Ippo was good and is good.
Continues to be good. Just had a tremendous fight with Takamura.
Tremendous. But yeah, the biggest thing is people just go in this, you know, they don't bring the arguments. Most of the arguments are just the fights. And then some people will bring in like the themes and what each fight means and just like, hey, Cell is a representation of all the previous fights that Goku went through. But for the most part, it's just the fight hype stuff. And when you're a kid, that's the hypest stuff. So you're gonna go back to that stuff. Nobody's talking about the characterization of Tien. You go, when you talk about the characterizations, you always go to the three people. Your Piccolo, your Gohan, and your Vegeta. Vegeta and Piccolo basically had a similar trajectory, and Gohan just grew up. So it's not like he even changed because of any sort of worldview. He was a kid, now he ain't a kid. A lot of things happen between that time.
Know that they are targeted to a more younger audience, there are things that you can still learn as an adult to this day, such as the certain essence of individuality and growth. Be stronger.
Yeah. You know what? He's right. Individuality.
What speaks to the individuality of Dragon Ball?
Goku going, I'm not a Saiyan, I'm an Earthling, and him going, yeah, I guess I am a Saiyan. He accepted his heritage.
Okay, that's a character, if even. And then the rest.
Yeah, you can learn that though.
You can learn anything from anything.
Yes, you most certainly can. And this is just something that this individual picked out to praise Dragon Ball with. Like, you can learn individuality and growth. I will say this. I have never once heard of anybody going, I can learn individuality from DBZ. First argument, very nice, but my goodness, is this subjective to your own self.
The certain essence of individuality and growth. Be stronger than what you were tomorrow. Be better than what you were.
He messed that up just a little bit. It's you be stronger than you were yesterday.
And he's about to do it again.
Individuality and growth. Be stronger than what you were tomorrow. Be better than what you were tomorrow. Not just from a physical standpoint, but from an individuality standpoint and from a mental.
Individuality standpoint, like what? Is Goku a better person from yesterday to today to tomorrow?
Is Yamcha, who actively quit training? Is Krillin, who actively quit training and is a police officer? Is Android 18 and Videl, who are both just moms? It's the training stuff. Nobody's really learning anything day to day. Like big arc stuff, I guess like Trunks learned to not rely on people as much because he dealt Zamasu the final blow.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Something like that.
That final blow was because of the energy of everybody.
Yeah,
which is something nostalgia just doesn't always teach you. So since the main people that are saying this are possibly new gen anime fans, trust and believe that they will say the same exact thing about your anime as well. They'll say it for Haikyuu.
Haikyuu is not good.
No,
that nostalgia is already over.
I know it is not. And I was waiting for this, but he did not explain the individuality nor the growth thing. He just said that Dragon Ball can teach you these things.
As well. They'll say it for Haikyuu, My Hero Academia.
Already saying it. That boy is a poopy. Already saying it. The second season,
people turned they back. And guess what? Unless the third season got Madhouse again, people ain't gonna be bumping it like they were in season 1.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Already talking about it. Boy, it is mid AF.
Nobody's saying that though. People are saying the peak shonen it is.
Mob Psycho.
I never seen it.
I quit. Chris and Eric like it, I think.
And so many more. But moving on to the next criticism, which is...
wow. So you did not dispel the nostalgia thing. You actively agree with it, and then you went, yeah, but they're gonna say it about other things. They're not gonna say it about those other things if those other things remain good.
Yu Yu Hakusho 4 years ended. You can always just go back and watch and read that. Here you're going, oh, it's Goku still doing Goku adventures. Goku from my childhood. That did not dispel the nostalgia thing.
Dragon Ball is action with no plot. And when I hear this take,
It has plot. Everything has plot. The plot isn't good.
Yes, it's very basic. It's people are being clearly, unless
Hyperbolic.
I wish he would show comments and stuff like that, because it's I think it's a very hyperbolic argument just so he can attack it.
Oh, it's funny you say comments because I got that in that Mark video coming up. I did not know Mark's video was taken down.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, because I wanted to go grab my comment from it and maybe some comments from his video. And it's just like, Toei, comments off. Oh, yeah, you can look at it right now.
I'm going to his Twitter.
Twitter?
To see if he talked about it.
I don't know when it went down, though, so. When's the last time you saw it?
Oh, no, yeah, it was very recent. 13 hours ago.
Okay.
Yeah, you got a bunch of things hit.
Yep, but not the Dragon Ball One Piece.
He just says several of his most popular ones.
Okay.
So it's just not. It's in there.
Dang, so it just happened. I should have captured that crap.
It looks like YouTube is working with it. Claims being made and stuff. Mark is a Mark is a very popular person. So he might get a little bit expedited. When are you thinking about releasing it?
I'm working on it now. I got about 2 minutes done. It's about 18 minutes, but the rest, is a lot of just like laying down clips and letting them play. The early, like, I needed to edit stuff with the stuff that took time.
That's still looking like about 2 weeks. It'll probably be resolved by then.
Maybe even next week, depending on how much I work on it.
very much understanding, and I can very much feel conflicted at the same time. Because to be fair, it makes sense why others do think this way. Since the action is definitely the main focus within Dragon Ball, people don't really see the other parts within Dragon Ball that led up to the fight, or is definitely in the middle parts as well. For a great example.
Wow, what? So your argument is people only see the fights of Dragon Ball, that's why they're saying there's no plot. Again, that's a hyperbolic statement, and I don't know if they actually mean there's no plot or the plot that you receive is basically nothing.
It's basically nothing, or the action supersedes the plot, so action is the thing that I'm going to talk about first and foremost.
The slice of life moments. One of the most overlooked parts in Dragon Ball happened in Dragon Ball Super, when future Trunks meets adult Gohan.
Wow, this is what you're bumping instead of great Gohan goes to high school, which is legitimately the best stuff of Z.
You're just shouting into the wind. Nobody's agreeing with you. Nobody. Dude, people ain't... There was a leak that was just like, hey, this movie might be a little bit more Gohan focused.
Are you serious?
Oh,
I saw that little image of Piccolo hurt and Pan crying, and I was like, oh, give me
people, that's not what the people want. You can't bring them up all the way with Broly, which was 30 minutes of pulse-pounding action, and then do Saiyan Man patrolling the city.
Yes,
you think people try to see that?
I am.
You're not the audience.
Yeah, that's it. I'm hyped for this. And I am exactly 100% not the audience for Dragon Ball.
Not this modern Dragon Ball.
Give me that.
You ain't buying the figures. You ain't.
I'll buy a little Pan in kindergarten.
Of course
figure.
you would buy that figure.
She's amazing.
But what was the last thing outside of the movies that you cashed out on Dragon Ball?
Fighters.
4 years ago?
I bought the
you
latest.
You played it 6 times?
I bought the latest season pass. Oh, and everybody got buffed. I might jump back in for Videl, because that's the only character I really liked in it, and she was poop. So with this bump, maybe.
everyone in the main cast, Trunks and Gohan have one of the most unique friendships out of everybody. Trunks himself out of
I agree.
Gohan, no, I don't agree. Gohan knows Trunks from a week and a half, maybe? He came to the past for half a day, showed back up in the past for like a week between the cells, between, hey, I'm down here, semi-perfect cell games. Mm-hmm. Then he came back again for, and this was the one, he saw him 1.5 times. So he knows of Trunks and they were training a whole lot, so there's not a whole lot of interpersonal stuff. Yeah. So, like a week and a half, I understand the Trunks thing, because Trunks is just like, he has future Gohan. He's watched Gohan grow up. He's a different Gohan from his Gohan.
Yeah, that's why I think it's unique. I didn't say it was good. I didn't say it was well established. I didn't say it was fleshed out. I think it's one of the most unique friendships.
But it's also very one-sided.
Absolutely. 1,000,000%.
Gohan, this is basically just some dude.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Trunks?
Hey, what's up? That's basically what it is. And for him, it's just like, oh, it's my dad, master. You were a kid. You saved the world from Cell and all this. And he's just like, hey, it's Trunks. When did you get here?
everybody. Trunks
wow, Gohan, you sure do look happy in your successful life, scholarly life. You sure do look happy.
This sure is a nice house.
I'm happy for you, Gohan, and I should hope that other people looks at the camera 2 inches to the left will be happy for you. Looks back to Gohan.
Movie 4, Gohan saying man happy.
No.
Everyone has seen 3 different sides to Gohan. Seeing him first as a warrior who has trained and mentored him. Then a younger Gohan who hasn't even reached his full potential. Then lastly, the adult version of Gohan. A Gohan who has attained peace. And not just getting a normal job.
He's so lame! I love him! He's the lamest.
I love Gohan.
Look at that smart sweater vest. Look at that. Is snazzy.
Boy, hey, which ice cream do you want? Oh, maybe you don't like either flavor? Aw, he's so lame.
Being a teacher, but he's now a husband and even now a father. Even though it's a hard reality for Trunks to grasp, it's always what Gohan wanted. He now sees his mentor out of stress and worry, and now in a time where he's happy and content with his life. Now, I am definitely aware that that was just only one example.
That wasn't really a friendship, though, that you explained. You explained that Trunks, the realization of Trunks and letting go of his mentor while being happy that he's happy. That's not necessarily a unique friendship. It's not necessarily a friendship at all. It's more like, I don't even know the word for it, honestly.
Nor is it necessarily, like, plot relevant. It doesn't.
Yeah.
This is the plot thing of Dragon Ball doesn't have plot, but
yeah. Okay, so if you take this out, what changes in the plot? So you're talking about this slice of life stuff, but what changes in the plot if Trunks didn't go see Gohan for this episode?
Dragon Ball doesn't have plot. Oh, but look at this Gohan and Trunks scene that does not advance the plot. It's basically nothing. I'm right.
A lot more though that do tackle a lot of slice of life elements and moments within the Dragon Ball universe.
Okay, slice of life. Is this the plot of Dragon Ball, or are they occurrences within the plot of Dragon Ball that, for the most part, do not advance the story?
Basically, in between the plot, these things happen.
But the main criteria is about action with no plot. It's pretty much like saying Tokyo Ghoul is about ghouls with no other story. Slam Dunk is just about basketball with no other story. JoJo's is just about a bizarre...
The plot of Slam Dunk, the plot of Tokyo Ghoul is the dude doesn't want to be a ghoul anymore. The plot of Slam Dunk is the captain, it's his last year there, and he wants to beat this specific team that once recruited him. If I remember my story, I haven't read Slam Dunk in like 7 years. The story of JoJo's is multifaceted.
There's always a goal to work towards in JoJo's in a lot of different anime. But for DBZ, it is mostly just, hey, what's happening in this arc?
Let's go stop the bad thing happening.
with no other story. Even some seinen and isekai genres can hop into that conversation as well. What I am genuinely saying is that everything can be oversimplified and generalized. Since the action is definitely the main focus of Dragon Ball, that does not mean other factors did not play a role into getting it to where it was. But on to the next.
What is the first thing people talk about though? It's the action. It looks so cool. Look at this fight. If you were to look up top Dragon Ball moments, what are you gonna look for? What are you gonna look at? It's gonna be
the fights. It's not gonna be
or
them
hype moments.
or hype moments. It's not gonna be them like, hey, there's another time machine here, and here's a gooey egg. That revelation. It's not gonna be that. It's gonna be the fight stuff. It's gonna be the stuff leading up to the fights.
Are you gonna watch the episode of Gohan's birthday right before the Cell games? I doubt you look that up. You're gonna look at Goku transforming. You're gonna look at in Gohan Super Saiyan 2. You're gonna look at the screaming of Super Saiyan 3. You're gonna look for hype moments. You're gonna look for fights. How many people are looking at in Gohan and Videl? Me?
6 views on YouTube.
And I'm 5 of them. And one of them's just the creator making sure the video played.
But yeah, Dragon Ball, his argument was Dragon Ball is all action and no plot. And again, he did not necessarily debunk that. He just went, there's a lot of slice of life stuff. Saying that it has no plot is like saying Tokyo Ghoul has no plots. And he moves on. It's not
an explanation of anything.
You could have easily just went, hey, look at this multi-layered time travel thing. This cell is not our cell. This cell is from a time where Trunks killed the android, so he's coming back. And then they killed our cell, but this cell is still here, and this... You could have done that. That's a very interlacing story type of thing that you need to go to. And he just goes, nah, but look at this slice of life stuff.
Criticisms. Now these two next ones that I'm going to bring up, I'm gonna jumble together because they pretty much cover the same topic. And these two are pretty much the main popular ones that a lot of...
What was that? What was that mid-air trip?
They pretty much cover the same topic. And
that is not how that works.
Not at all. His leg would just be... that would indicate that his body weight is all in his legs. And now that he is...
Okay, maybe it's just like if you were both jumping in the air and somebody kicked under your legs, you would turn that way if the force is heavy enough.
I think that your leg would just sort of lift up. Because, go back, did his one leg collide with his other leg?
Pretty much cover the same topic.
Yeah, it looks like
okay.
Yeah.
But still, it still looks silly.
It looks a little goofy.
These two are pretty much the main popular ones that a lot of people tend to say a lot. And the first one is that Dragon Ball has little to no character development. And the second one being that Dragon Ball has a lack of an emotional connection to people. To get this...
The first one, I don't agree with. It does have character development and stuff. Just not...
It's poor.
It's poor, and it's not spread out evenly amongst the characters. The second one... if you said that if it didn't have emotion and stuff like that, I would agree. But then you go, it doesn't have emotion with people. And like we've always said, you can get an emotion from anything. But, Krillin dying, that is an initial shock. But then you just go, we can wish him back. And then Krillin dying again, it's like, oh no, Krillin is super duper dead this time because we cannot wish him back because he has already been wished back. 6 episodes later, hey, there's a way to wish Krillin back. So you get an initial rush of emotions and then it's just dissipated because Dragon Ball just goes, oh, that just didn't matter.
Now, there are a lot of things emotionally within Dragon Ball. Like Krillin deciding whether to break the bomb button or not. Yeah. That's emotional. The dog dying for Boo. That's emotional. There are emotional things.
Going, what the is Majin Vegeta doing?
Yeah.
Just like I thought he changed sort of mindset. So there is stuff there. It's just it's the totality. If you go, it lacks no emotion. All you need to do is pick one time, and you just go, that argument is debunked.
But if you're saying it lacks, as in it is lacking, then I would agree with that because Dragon Ball is what 600 chapters altogether, and you're gonna point out what 8 scenes of emotion, like. And most of them are going to be deaths that
They are
Inconsequential.
entirely reversible. The moment of Majin Vegeta blowing himself up is not as impactful because it's not impactful because of the death. It's impactful because he's sacrificing himself. And then he dies, but then in the back of your mind, you go, oh my goodness, he's stoned, blah, 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 whatever.
And then they go, Vegeta probably does not have a body because he was a bad person. And you go, oh wow, he might not be able to get wished back. Then King Yama's just like, hey, we need help, so you're back.
And then he gets wished back, and nothing of value is lost.
Out of the way first, I'm going to start off with the second criticism. As I stated before throughout the video, is I totally understand where people are coming from. Since throughout time, we have seen a lot of mangakas show a lot of attention to detail and expression throughout their characters and their stories. As I restate this, it does make sense why others prefer other stories like My Hero Academia, Naruto, Black
Melodramatic,
Clover, or just
melodramatic,
Slice of Life,
great.
or other light novels. It shows a lot of detail and expression in the amount of specification to the struggle that showed for not just the main character but the story and as well as the supporting cast. That really is a callback to their themes of what the story is meant to be about. It's why a lot of people feel like these stories are a lot more relatable because it deals with more basis in reality. And these
Relatability matters zero.
Black Clover is not dealing in reality. What does that mean? He used Black Clover as an example.
Noel's struggles were f***ing great. I need to catch up in Black Clover.
I'm a couple behind.
deals with more basis in reality, and these themes can definitely be found and shown within Dragon Ball. One of the most underrated speeches in anime is from Vegeta about Saiyan pride.
What is this guy talking about? This is one of the most heralded speeches in all of Dragon Ball, one of the most known speeches in all of anime, and who gives a about the emotion of it, because it's just me angry, me fight.
Yeah, this basically means nothing. He selfishly allowed himself to be taken over. Now he's going, you can't take me over, pride.
But I'm still gonna fight. I'm still gonna help you.
Head games to stop me.
You may have invaded my mind and my body, but there's one thing a Saiyan always keeps.
And that is...
his pride!
That speech is changed based on what dub it is.
It's fine.
What this...
You know what? It's funny that he's talking about nostalgia and he uses the original speech.
That DBZ clip. What does a Saiyan pride mean?
Because I saw a lot of King Vegeta licking boot for Frieza.
Like, what does it mean to be a Saiyan? What does Vegeta think that it means to be a Saiyan?
And the pride of the Saiyans, is it some type of like, we have to be proud because we were kept down so long by other people?
Or is it just like, we are such a strong race that we must be proud? But then they were subservient to Frieza for so long.
Licking boot.
Dodoria was punking these fools. Zarbon was just, I'm not going down there for Saiyans. You handle it, Dodoria. Like, what is...
Kui said Vegeta could never match his strength.
And Kui... What is Saiyan pride? Is it just to be strong? Because guess what? Gohan doesn't want to do that. So does that mean that he's any less of a Saiyan?
And truly shows and signifies throughout Dragon Ball is that no matter what you are dealing with mentally or physically, upholding who you are as a person and your beliefs...
Person is not the same thing as pride. Who you are as a person and holding on to it is not the same thing as your pride.
Back in the early Dragon Ball, correct me if I'm wrong, but Gohan did not want to fight.
Yep.
And they were forcing him to fight.
Correct.
And thus he is not holding on to his beliefs.
Nope.
So what does that mean?
Hitting play.
What are we saying about Gohan here?
He doesn't have the Saiyan pride.
No, but He said that this is what Dragon Ball could teach you, holding on to your beliefs.
So is Vegeta any less of a Saiyan because he started dancing for Beerus?
That's what I was wondering. I don't know what it... I'm just now thinking about it like, what the...
Isn't it funny that so many times with these Dragon Ball videos, we go, I was never thinking about this until right now. And now that I'm thinking about it, this is terrible.
You are as a person and your beliefs is what matters at the end of the day. So no matter the situations that you are in life, you always need to uphold your dignity of yourself.
Gohan did not want to fight Cell. Cell forced him into that situation. Goku forced him into that situation. Gohan does not like violence. What does that say about Gohan?
What does that say about the people surrounding Gohan, like Goku?
Like...
More into the other criticism about character development, stating that Dragon Ball characters don't seem to change or learn from their mistakes.
Changing is not a problem. Not learning from your mistakes is a problem.
It most certainly is. Gohan should not have been a fight with Majin Buu. Point blank period. It pisses me off so much. Gohan outside of that would probably be my favorite character in Dragon Ball. But that was so stupid for no reason.
None. He started off, my father died because of my arrogance as a teenager. And I would even be fine with the arrogance because it's a higher level of Saiyan, so maybe there's more malice in his heart. And he's an emotional teenager who's so much stronger than the person that's just been torturing everybody he cares about. So I'm gonna give you back to you a little bit. You gotta learn that you're not strong. I can even forgive all of that, understand all of that. Once he becomes an adult and still does it, get him out of here.
I said this. I went, hey, it would have been so... I said this in a comment. It would have been so much better if Gohan went, hey, you Boo? Yeah. And he just charges up a full power Kamehameha. Boo goes, that will kill me. He puts a little piece of himself underground. Gohan vaporizes all of that except for that little piece. Gohan is now completely spent. So now we can do the absorption. We can do the even level fighting thing. We can do whatever.
Or it sneaks up behind Gotenks.
Either one. But you don't have him doing fisticuffs within Boo.
Or learn from their mistakes. Because the real notion of character development now is the meaning that every character has to change their personality or their outlooks on their goals. Meaning, if a character remains the same, that means that that character hasn't undergone any form of development.
People do misuse character development quite a lot.
Absolutely. 1,000,000%. It's people misuse a lot of things a lot of the time.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad.
And especially when they don't explain themselves. They just go, Dragon Ball doesn't have character development. The action sucks, blah, 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 and they just move on. It's harder to refute.
Most definitely not true. For a great example, as always, I stated this in my well-written versus well-developed video. 3 days, no, 2 years, from the Straw Hat Pirates from One Piece. I stated in the video that yes, you can say that they did not change their personality, but that does not mean that the Straw Hat Pirates we've seen from Romance Dawn is the same from what we see now in Wano. From their inexperience, now we see a lot more tact, awareness, and carefulness in their planning. And you can exactly say this for...
Not necessarily. Zoro twice had to be like, Luffy, this is not Pirate Games bullshit.
Luffy and Zoro just went, they're the people that ate that poisoned the water. Let's go full force.
But we had a plan.
Plans, it's them.
Goku, yes, he still has the same naiveness and childlike personality that he's had ever since the first beginning of Dragon Ball. But that doesn't mean that he was the same kid that he was from the beginning. Character development...
He's actively regressed.
Yeah.
He grew and then he regressed.
I don't see any sort of... Outside of him just going, look, everybody's to come in here because of me. I'm going to stay dead. That was very mature of him.
And then that's exactly what happened. And he's back for a day and pops off. So maybe he was on to something there.
Yeah, but then because of that, let's just go into this. He goes, all right, I'm gonna let the next generation handle it. I'm gonna let Gohan handle it. I'm gonna let Gotenks handle it. They're gonna be the protectors of the Earth. Oh, that ain't work. I'm back, baby. So he had his growth moment, but then just went, and I like fighting too much.
Just like Vegeta had his growth moment of, you're stronger than me, Kakarot.
Then episode 1 or 2 is just like, I'll beat you, Kakarot. But in GT, he just goes, I'm not even concerned about beating Goku and Kakarot anymore. I'm just concerned about what my limits are. So I'm just going to keep training for myself. But in Super, he's just like, nah, Kakarot, I'm coming for you.
Coming for the crown.
Can work in a very vast amount of ways. If you were to ask me, Goku's character development is him learning much more about himself and reflecting on his own growth to accomplish his own dreams. As totally not Mark stated in the Goku Misunderstood video, which I highly recommend you check out, is that Goku is Dragon Ball. He is the...
No, Mark did not say this, Bush.
We will not be doing that, video commenter. Hold your comment. No, thank you.
It's so sad that we're like, dang, there's just no Dragon Ball material out there. And here's a man with so much Dragon Ball material. We're going, no, we're not doing none of that.
Absolutely not.
He's so bad, y'all.
He's really bad.
This series, he changes the...
Wait, what was that about the truth?
Goku is Dragon Ball. He is the truth of this series.
And the truth is all there is. The truth is beautiful. That's some Wonder Woman 1984 for you.
Why do people keep talking about the truth? From episode 1, we had to deal with that.
Yeah, with part 5.
And the truth that they...
It's very easy to say. It sounds deep.
It sounds profound.
And you don't have to explore or develop it any. And if you do, it's just going to support your he is truth things. He is what Dragon Ball represents. The fun, adventurous spirit plus the, we got to protect our friends thing. He is Dragon Ball. He is the truth. I guess.
He changes the world and cast around him just as much as he is learning about himself.
Is character development changing the world and cast around him? I do not believe it is. And
okay.
I need to hear his argument about learning from himself. Go ahead.
Based on what you think he'll explain.
He might explain it because he said he learns about himself twice. He's referenced the video going into the character of Goku. I can't imagine that he doesn't.
I can.
About himself, but it is fair to say that his development just may not be for you. There are a lot of characters who show passion and remorse for the decisions they have to make. However, Goku, on the other hand, he does it quite frequently, but to a point where others just do not understand. In some situations, he only looks for the benefit of himself to get stronger, but that does not mean that he hasn't looked at the issues and problems that he has caused and tried to fix them. In this instance, after his fight with Frieza, Frieza begs Goku to try to help him save his life. Reluctant as Goku was, he spares a little bit of his energy to him. In his mistake in doing so, he ends up trying to attack and kill Goku, which obviously did not work. And I know this question is coming up. Why did Goku...
Why did Krillin and Gohan need to hold Piccolo's hand to transfer energy to him? What is the transference of energy in Dragon Ball?
Okay, maybe they weren't strong enough, so it needed direct contact.
And a dying Frieza is strong enough?
No. But Goku is, so where he can be. He doesn't need to touch him.
That's where you were going with that. That's as valid as any argument that anybody can come up with.
This is invalid as the next comment.
Hey, sure. I guess.
Why did Goku throw Cell the Senzu beam? As we all know, this was a big mistake by Goku, but not in the way that you're thinking it is. On the surface, it blatantly looks stupid, but when we look into the scene, it was to actually help Gohan surpass his potential, because Goku mistakenly believes that Gohan wanted to be a strong fighter just like him and Vegeta, but Piccolo then tells him that that is not who Gohan is. He does not want to get stronger for his own purposes. He'd rather just use his power to protect the ones he loves.
Pause. Never in the 3 years of training for the androids, never in the 2 years of training in the hyperbolic time chamber,
never in the years of raising Gohan did he ever think about what Gohan wanted, ever ask what Gohan wanted.
Gohan never vocalized what he wanted. This is not good. If Goku did not notice, did not ask, that is very bad. He just assumes, like a big dumb monkey that he is, that he is his son and therefore like fighting. I can understand Gohan. Gohan's a bit timid. He's not gonna be, but you should at least, it would have been like, yo, this ain't this. I'm pretty sure he vocalized that he wanted to be a scholar to Goku.
He also vocalized that, Dad, I don't want to fight. And he was like, I know you can be the one to beat Cell. Well, if you think so.
And Piccolo recognized it, but this is where Piccolo is a better dad than Goku comes from. I'm on neither side of the fence. Hold your comment.
Oh, I am Piccolo.
But this type of
Piccolo.
thing, he's not his father. He semi-trained him for 6 months. He was involved in the training in the 3-year thing, but that was about it. And he automatically goes, yo, you idiot. And Goku's like, oh, dang, you right. I never once thought about this like this. Even as Gohan's going, I'm not a fighter. And he goes shaking him going, yes, you are. Protect us or else. So that's where this comes from. That's bad on either part. So, like, this isn't a plus for Goku. It's him realizing it. But why did he not realize in the 11, 12 years of his son's life?
Loves, and it is also because Goku does not like to cheat his way around a fight, and his journey to become the strongest warrior in the universe. And as others stated, that this kind of naiveness in his journey is dangerous. Once Goku realizes his mistake and Gohan finally reaches his full potential against Cell, then Goku tells him to immediately defeat him, as Goku realizes his own flaw and arrogance to how he treated Frieza. But by Gohan's new arrogance, it ends up brushing off Goku's warning.
I don't think that's what happened.
Because there was no consequence to that other than him losing a couple of seconds.
He was handily defeating Cell, and Goku said, hey, cut out that bush. Let's defeat him now and go home.
I mean, he let Vegeta go, and Vegeta is one of the reasons why Frieza is not the emperor of the universe. Why his son and his 2 best friends are not dead right now. One of them being perma-dead. Because if Frieza's just like, hey, y'all not giving me the password to do the Dragon Ball thing, or Guru dies, she just goes, all right, Death Ball dead. And that's Krillin dead permanently. So Vegeta is the reason why that happened. There were no ill effects of Frieza living. There was naught but positive for Vegeta living. I guess he didn't learn from that, or he's just choosing to remember the Frieza thing of just, oh, this dude, I let him go and he didn't. Like, there is no, go on now, Cell. There is no talking to that dude.
He also broke Nappa's back and was just like, get him out of here. Didn't kill him. Wasn't like, hey, let's get this out of here.
Warning, Goku, realizing his mistake, ends up sacrificing himself for the betterment of everyone else. And in the moment they were about to wish him back with the Dragon Balls, Goku tells them to not wish him back. He believes that his being there endangers the lives of others around him, and in doing so creates an essence of peace. And going on the last point,
for a little while, and then he comes back and then his problems, and then they defeat Boo, and 5 years later he's still on Earth and there are no problems.
And this is all from the end of Cell. What about all of the Saiyan arc? What about all the Frieza arc? What about this Where's the development there? You're talking about this one moment of him going, oh, somebody had to directly tell me about my son's personality, and him going, oh crap, everybody did come here for me.
I'm going to make about Goku's character development. I think one of the most overlooked things about Goku is his backstory. The fact that his father leads the charge against Frieza, only leading to his entire race being destroyed, then have to succumb to a new life and a new journey on another planet, only then to fall and suffer brain damage, and possibly truly forgetting the last sight of his parents and his Saiyan heritage, only then to be having the man that saved him die by his own powers, and everyone who knew what the truth was never even told him. Then when it comes down to people of his own race meeting him for the first time, they end up trying to kill him and destroy his home. To his confrontation and sacrifice against his own brother Raditz, to his all-out battle with Vegeta, he reluctantly denied that he was a Saiyan. But throughout his countless fights and battles, he starts to realize much more that he is very much different from everybody else. To sum this all up, I'm not saying that Goku's backstory is as sad as Naruto's, Luffy's, or Guts, or say that it's the saddest thing in the world, but it's pretty sad in its own way.
Pause. No, it's not. Goku does not care about his father. Bardock did not care about Goku for 20 years until Toriyama said, "No, Superman." Him killing Grandpa Gohan. Yes, that is very sad. And then three people from the Saiyan race, of which he just learned about and does not care about the Saiyan race, comes here. What's sad about that? Between the ages of, I think he was 12 in the beginning of Dragon Ball to adulthood.
Like 7 or 8.
Doesn't really matter. I think Bulma was 16 and he was either 14 or 12.
14 sounds closer to.
Doesn't really matter. Let's say between Dragon Ball and the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, happy life. Like what really happened? Krillin died, got wished back. What tragedy? Like
12.
Hey, I got it.
Bulma's 14.
Oh. Well, 50-50. That's fine.
It's kind of
Triton. Them numbers. So yeah, it's whatever. Like, what does his backstory have to do with his character development? What does his backstory have to do with, like, anything about him right now? What does Bardock have to do with Goku right now? Grandpa Gohan, absolutely. Like, Frieza destroying the planet. Who cares? He doesn't care about
This is
them.
the only planet Goku's ever known. These are the only people Goku's ever known. Why would he care about Bardock? Or whatever his mom's name is.
Gine.
Backstory affects him indirectly from others like Vegeta, who faces it directly. I believe it was shown to us, the audience, for specific reasons. But moving on to the next criticisms that most people like to say is that Dragon Ball supporting characters are pretty much irrelevant.
They eventually do become that.
More of them are irrelevant than they are not.
Absolutely. The only relevant one after Saiyan Saga is basically Piccolo and Krillin.
Bulma as well.
And Bulma.
But if you want to go into your King Kais and crap like that, I guess. But if we're talking about like hard Z warriors, they drop.
I've heard say that the supporting cast does not really hold any relevance or does not have any moments like Vegeta and Goku. To those that say this complaint, as I always have said throughout this video, I understand. But I think some people really miss the point about Dragon Ball, which is the main theme about pursuing happiness.
So whose theme? What theme? Dragon
That's
Ball?
the problem with themes. It could be whatever. So he's going, yo, the theme of Dragon Ball is pursuing happiness. And he's not wrong.
Yeah, because you could probably implant a lot of this within it to say that, yes, pursuing happiness is a thing.
Yes, but also pursuing strength is a theme of Dragon Ball. Learning from your past struggles, death, life, happiness, everything is a theme of everything.
Pursuit is a theme of Dragon Ball. Because Vegeta's always pursuing Goku. Goku's always pursuing the next strong opponent to test his strength. Gohan is pursuing his scholarly. This is trash.
Not many people are going, because I just looked up DBZ in quotation pursuing happiness. Not many people are bumping that. So there's one person that was just like, Mirrors taught Goku in the moral arc, even though Goku was pursuing his happiness, he would often do so at the expense of others. Goku even said that whatever. But yeah, this is the problem with themes. Who cares? He's right, he's wrong. This is just what he thinks. How do we disprove him other than going, themes don't matter, or other themes override it, or you're wrong about the thing? Like, so if you like said that the theme of Dragon Ball is industrialization and cultural Marxism, you'd be like, that's not necessarily right. But as long as you have like 4 or 5 little strings to go to always tie back into pursuing happiness, I guess that could be a theme of Dragon Ball, and you're not wrong. So you can just make your point on this theme.
4 months ago, what is the pursuit of happiness of the main characters of Dragon Ball? I've only seen one post about this, and it really didn't answer my question. Training, fighting, and eating for Goku and Vegeta. Well, Gohan and Krillin are good examples of the different types of pursuit of happiness in series. Overall, though, it isn't a strong point of Dragon Ball, in my opinion. The motivations and dreams of most characters are lackluster and non-existent. Ooh. Yeah. Sounds weird, but I think that Goku's pursuit of happiness is seeing Kid Buu to be reborn as somebody good. This is trash.
That's trash. I'm not reading anymore.
I'm not reading anymore.
Outside of the Saiyan cast, not everybody who is an Earthling or a different race wants to truly be the strongest in the universe, or go on a journey to face any of the strongest fighters ever. Most of them, like Gohan, are just protectors of the Earth. Obviously, time for more examples. Bulma creating a time machine and eligible for Trunks to come back to the past to change the future.
Absolutely.
What did he say?
Yeah,
there was a word right after Bulma.
Obviously, time for more examples. Bulma creating a time machine and eligible for Trunks.
Ineligible? Yeah, I'm trying to.
Creating a time machine and eligible for Trunks to come back to the past to change the future. Yajirobe cutting off Vegeta's tail.
Pause.
Whoa, what is the pursuit of happiness there?
No, he's just going. These are things that side characters do.
Okay.
This one thing.
Who are the main characters? And who are the supporting characters of Dragon Ball?
Goku, Vegeta, Gohan.
I would throw Bulma in there.
Let's throw in there. I think the list ends there.
Okay.
I'd be comfortable ending the list there.
Okay. So right now you have a Yajirobe example.
And this one thing that he did, are we just, because like at any point somebody could just drop something and like, oh no, that's my most important thing, and somebody picks it up and goes, oh, here you go. Is that somebody worth talking about?
Like Senzu being.
You can't just say that
without... You
without
don't even see Korin!
You can't say that without the implication of the beans. How does he make the beans? Why can he only make a certain amount of them? Do they have a shelf life? Otherwise, why doesn't he have a stockpile of 150 of them at any given time? Why is he the only person that knows how to make them? Why has he not taught anybody else how to make them? What is the gestation period of the beans? There's so much wrong with this. And you just go, he makes the beans. And people just accept that you go to Korin and you get the beans. And that's all.
However many beans he has at that particular moment.
That's all that he got.
Dang, we could only get 3 from Korin this time.
Well, I guess we got 3 beans.
And the next example here is a spoiler.
Wow. So, you named 2 in all of Dragon Ball. And then went, now let's jump to Super. Because after Namek, you after the Saiyan saga, you might as well cut it in half. And after Namek, you might as well cut it in another half.
So you can't say Yamcha or Chaozu because they do literally nothing. You can hit up Tien and he held down both Cell and Boo. But anybody could have done that in that moment. So that's not something that's unique to him. Only Yajirobe could have cut off the tail. I will totally accept that. But the TN thing, I've never seen it as a big moment. Because you're basically just pushing somebody down as they're getting up and they're going, stop!
Somebody's trying to open the door and you're pushing it closed and then they just bust it open like, what are you doing?
You're just stockpiling furniture in front of it and crap. And you're not really doing anything, but you're here.
From the Dragon Ball Super manga. So if you don't want to hear about it, I recommend you go to this timestamp. And if you're sticking around, well, time to explain it. At this moment, invaders and henchmen under the main antagonist named Moro. They have come to Earth to steal its energy so that Moro can become more powerful. And
so, what you're saying is...
Here we go.
From Yajirobe...
That's one.
...to Moro...
Yep, that's not a big jump.
Those are... You have nothing there.
Not a huge jump, a couple years, couple chapters.
What you're saying is in all of Super, you had to go to the latest manga.
From Yajirobe.
And what are these people doing now? They went off the planet to get away from them. They're not even close to where we are. Their names are not even spoken.
Like, this dude knows of One Piece, so he must be aware of, without Usopp, the crew is murdered. Without Usopp, Robin is up in the gates of justice. She's gone bye-bye. Without Nami, they're not navigating nowhere, no how. Without freaking Sanji, they were cooking poisonous food and Luffy was basically dead.
And without Sanji, they don't escape from the Alabasta prison. And they don't open the gates of justice to get through it.
Without Frankie, they got a second-hand, pretty good ship that's not surviving the New World.
He had to, he built that bridge to help them cross it in Thriller Bark, which they would not have been able to do.
And they wouldn't have been able to get away from Garp because they used the Kudo Burst.
And all the times that's been useful.
But Yajirobe.
Sure, I'll clap for Yajirobe.
Yajirobe. That's what we got. What about your TNs? What about your Yamchas? What about this is something that only this person can do and is thus worthy of being talked about? Not this one-off Yajirobe cut Vegeta's tail off. And that's one-off and did nothing. It's not corn making the beans and that's all that we're thinking about this with. What about important stuff here? That's the problem. Yes, they do stuff. Is it consistent, important stuff that only they can do? Usually, no.
For the most part, no. Not at all, period. And if Korin taught anybody else how to make them beans, you wouldn't even need to say that man's name.
What the is why is he alive? Is he some sort of god? Does he have some sort of... Did he drink from the fountain of youth? Why is he still alive? Sixth life. Sure! Just as valid as any other argument. Because we're not thinking about Korin. We're not thinking about whatever the Mr. Popo is. Mr. Popo is just Mr. Popo. Korin is just Korin. Get the beans. Why is he...
you know why I'm here.
You know what's up, cat. I ain't come here to say hi.
Yo, Goku, it's been so long, my friend.
Beans.
Well, how's Gohan going?
Hey, I'll tell you that after the beans. Here you go.
Gohan.
This time.
And wait a second. and
this is a bad. Let me go back a little bit more.
And Korin,
it's been on his crotch for like 2 minutes.
Korin was the person that Goku went to where he goes, hey, I'm going to put out my entire output. Tell me if I can beat Cell. He went to Korin. Mm-hmm. The f is that?
And he went, no. I thought so.
Why Korin? Why does Korin have that capability? Why can Korin sense energy? This was a big thing. Oh my!
Why can only Earthlings sense energy?
Whatever.
Powerful, and at this time, Goku and Vegeta are nowhere to be found. So it's pretty much up to Gohan, Piccolo, Yamcha, Tien.
So I will admit, it's good. Good. I like this moment of them actually doing something.
Yeah.
But a moment had to be created where the two most powerful people had to be away, and these people had to defend the Earth. It's not that these people, it's just like, this is something that only Yamcha can do. It's Yamcha is here, and so Yamcha fights.
Yamcha is basically quicksand to the other side of the island. And the other side of the island is the Earth being destroyed. So I'm the quicksand. I'm going to throw down traps and whatever I can just to hold y'all up till the important people get here.
So you're saying that 30 years after the beginning of Dragon Ball, this moment happens, and thus the supporting cast is not irrelevant.
The argument no longer makes sense because they're doing relevant things every once in a while.
When Master Roshi should not be there because he has a power level sub 1,000. When Android 18 is there, and Android 18 is equal to, let's say, a suppressed Goku Blue. And this is the manga. And Gohan is there, and Gohan is equal to a fused Kale and Caulifla. Why do we need Tien here? Oh, he's just here doing stuff.
Honestly, right now, what do you think Tien and Yamcha's power levels are?
Tien trains a lot.
90K?
I'd say it's higher than that.
Based on what?
Okay, let me look up a power level guide just so I can have a base level, because I'm thinking that. Let me look this up because
they got mollywopped by Nappa,
You know what?
and Nappa was probably 3,000 to 4,000, 5,000, because he was shocked Goku was over 9,000.
So Raditz was 15. They have the ability to go from a couple of hundred to a couple thousand.
Yep.
In a year.
Yep, based on training with gods.
But then what does that training with God entail?
Just shut up. That's what it entails. I need you to be power level 32,000 right now and 20,000 tomorrow. Why did I go down? Because I don't know, you ain't trained at 3 p.m.
Yeah, so Krillin versus Raccoon was 13,000. So he's more than likely sub 100K. Roshi,
don't even talk about
he don't train. He can't fly.
What, Yamcha? 15,000, 20,000?
Yamcha don't train. Krillin had the thing with Guru.
Here's your potential. What does that mean?
So I'll give him 200 since he's said to be the strongest Earthling. But then you have to look at Gohan is enough to fight on par with a fused Super Saiyan being. 200K is nothing to him. So, again, somebody like an Android 18 could just zip, zoop, 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 and beat each and every one of them, no problem. 17, sorry.
But probably 18, high key.
If this was something like, hey, this dude is so malleable, we can't punch him. I tried to blast him into atoms, nothing's working. Hey, Chaozu, you can paralyze this person. Only you can do this. Now we can make a strategy based on that. That's something. But these characters,
if you paralyze their body, then they're not malleable anymore because it's stiff. So maybe they'll feel it.
Something like that. But there's nothing that a Krillin could do, that a Yamcha, that a Tien, that a Roshi could not do. So they are just fighting avatars, and they're therefore not very interesting. They are just in a time and a place and doing stuff not unique to them.
It's like a 30-year-old playing football with 7-year-olds and trucking them. They're just there to try to slow them down and maybe trip them up until the next 30-year-old comes and tackles them. Because you're not doing nothing, 7-year-old. You're not on the level of this.
Master Roshi, Krillin, and even the androids. As cheesy as a line is to say, it's to help save their world. But I get it. Most people are saying that they want the supporting cast to just win a fight on their own, where it doesn't always involve Goku and Vegeta. Instead, just...
No, Not necessarily.
I want them to do things on their own. I will never complain about Krillin during the Cell arc because from beginning to end, he was basically doing something. He had a lot of agency in the story. He did not need to punch anybody to get into that level. Where was Tien? Where was Yamcha and what were they doing?
I'll tell you where the Yamcha was. After the android strikes and he almost dies and Goku has his little heart attack, he goes, well, I'm gonna be useless here, so the least that I can do is fly Goku home. He knew that there was nothing that he could do. He took himself out of the story. Tien went, hey, you want to hop in the hyperbolic time chamber, Tien? He goes, why?
Why would I waste my time
everybody's
and
yours? No.
What am I going to do? Sit there for a year?
Just contemplating my death? No. If I'm going to die, I'm going to die tomorrow. I don't need to be...
What's wrong with you? What do you think I can do?
Hey, don't patronize me. We both know that I'm Tien. Come on now.
Like, when Hulk got the selfie with the kids, and it was like, you want Ant-Man? Like, he don't want it.
Them win their own fights for their own purposes, merits, and reasons.
What? I'm sorry, huh? Oh, the people want them to do that.
Just have them win their own fights for their own purposes, merits, and reasons. Because in doing so, it would kind of defeat the purpose within Dragon Ball.
Okay, I need that whole thing again.
Win a fight on their own, where it doesn't always involve Goku and Vegeta. Instead, just have them win their own fights for their own purposes, merits, and reasons. Cause in doing so, it would kinda defeat the purpose within Dragon Ball. As for how the story is, Goku is truth.
Goku can beat Cell. How about somebody under Cell that only Yamcha could beat because he has such control of his ki. Even though it's not powerful, he has such control over it that he can chase the person.
Boom. Let's look at Planet Namek. Vegeta took out Kui, Dodoria, Zarbon, Gordo. Goku took out half the Jace. Goku took out half the Ginyu Force.
Raccoon and Captain Ginyu and Berta.
If we're looking at only the fight thing, Gohan and Krillin did nothing.
But they did a lot of things within that story.
So, if you're looking at it just purely like, hey, they need to fight, no, that's not happening because Namek is just the Goku and Vegeta show again. If you're looking at, hey, they're doing stuff, they do a lot in Planet Namek. But, like... there's no reason why you can't create. There's no reason why it couldn't just be like, all right, face my Cell Juniors. This one is a Tien mirror. Hey, I fought Tien a bunch of times. I'm Yamcha. I know his strategies and stuff. At least I need to do this. I need to be helpful. Something. Do you get a chapter and a half of Yamcha actually having a fight? Because post Dragon Ball, he got destroyed almost instantly by a single Cyberman. And then what?
It's very funny to me that this person is going, people are mad that the supporting characters don't do things and aren't getting their own fights. But that would defeat the purpose of Dragon Ball because Goku is truth. When earlier we were like, Dragon Ball does have plot and character development. It's not all about the fights. I understand it's the most prevalent thing, but there are other things within it. So people are asking for other things within it over just, hey, Goku Vegeta fight, and you go, well, that defeats the purpose. So what's the purpose of Dragon Ball? Just to have Goku fight? Then why even have these characters? Why are they even here?
pursuit of happiness, and Yamcha's happiness is not fighting. But guess what? Even if it was fighting, there's no way feasibly that he could ever get up to the level of Goku, and that's a problem.
Period.
If it was just, hey, Tien is lazy, and that's why he can't get up to the level of Goku. It was fine in Dragon Ball where Goku was just a little bit stronger than everybody else, just a little bit more crafty.
Yeah,
you
if
gotta
it was
tell,
power levels, if they were at if he was at 80, they were like 74.
it's just like, we can get past Goku. But here, there is no feasible way. So, a Yamcha is not going to fight a Cell, but a Yamcha could fight a insert thing that Yamcha could fight.
One of the Android 19 or 20s. One
something.
of them. Jiro just, to give Cell the time to find the other android that he needs to absorb, he built a bunch of whatever androids.
Unleashes 8 of them.
That do special things.
And they're just spread across the world and go, okay, now we got to split up and tackle these androids. Hey, what about that? It's just that easy to have somebody doing something.
Z fighters that you see now have been changed in part by Goku. If they were to win battles on their own, it would feel like the impact that Goku has left upon them would very much get overlooked.
Did you say the impact already gets overlooked? So now them winning on their own makes the impact Goku had on them feel overlooked? What are you talking about?
That's a very odd point.
What a weird point.
Hey, if we want to talk about the impact on that Goku had on everybody, let's look at the end of the Cell fight. In the manga, it's just Vegeta going, and then Cell going, hey, Vegeta. In the anime, they go, each and every one of them has a blast and goes, Goku, you've affected me in this way. And then they think about it. Toriyama did not think to do that. The anime went, let's give them anything to do other than standing here. Yeah, they're wimps. They're doing absolutely nothing. Cell's not feeling that, but at least they're trying. But Toriyama just went, nah, Vegeta, and then he wins.
To a certain extent, I would say. My last point on this is I'm not trying to get into a power scaling debate, but these guys are Earthlings compared to born trained fighting warriors.
And born trained fighting warriors that they got to the level of before all their Zenkai bush. Cause Tien right now is stronger than Vegeta was when he first got to Earth.
Krillin trained infinitely more than Gohan pre the Saiyan saga. But yet they were almost equal when it came time for Nappa to show.
It's got nothing to do with born and trained warrior race. Their genetics are just better, and it's not fair. And just because Tien is at a 90 doesn't mean he can't do things. Again, Krillin did a lot of things in the Cell Saga without needing to atata at people, without needing to do a destructo disc at somebody.
Even though it was a filler, it was, hey, there is Cell and there is a mother and child. I'm going to save them. That does infinitely more than for Krillin than like a lot of stuff.
Their blood and genetics. Not to say that they all did not learn how to fight to get stronger, but each has a different.
What did Broly learn to fight to get stronger?
How does Broly train with no food, no water, no any sort of... I can't imagine he'd having a good night's sleep on this ravenous planet with a much weaker father who he and of himself... Give me his training. What is Broly doing to get stronger? He steps off of that mug and he's base Vegeta post-tournament of power level. And he just gets stronger and stronger to the point where he's tussling with a fusion being. He got kind of mollywop, but he's Golden Frieza level. And Golden Frieza level is at least pre-tournament of power Goku Blue level.
This is post-tournament of power Goku Blue level.
Post-tournament.
And they went, hey, we gotta run away in fusion because he's killing us.
2 Super Saiyan Blues within the span of, I don't know how fast this goes. Let's go an hour between when Broly lands and they teleport away. Within an hour, he goes from post-Tournament of Power base to taking on 2 post-Tournament of Power Super Saiyan Blues. It's pure genetics. This is not good.
This is
and
not fair.
I hate that people praise this stuff because of the fight. He is out the womb amazingly strong, and also he also grows amazingly strong. Oh, and also he has this pseudo Ozaru form. That's another thing, and it's just stacked on. And it's like Tien, he can never do that. He is a born and bred martial artist. As much as he can ever do, he's never sniffing anything like that, and we just have to accept that. Oh, he's just born different. Hard work versus genetics. This is trash.
A different merit to its own. Now, on to the last criticism about Dragon Ball. And this is the main one, that the Dragon Balls have no relevancy at all within the story of Dragon Ball.
Like,
What are they talking about? Who's saying this? Because that's just beyond incorrect.
Beyond.
all the fucking dragon genitals and just fucking offer it up to fucking Shinron. Boom, we res Krillin back to life for like the 10th time.
Yeah.
And all it is used as a tool to bring everyone back from the dead.
Yeah.
Obviously not true. There's certain limitations and things that you can do besides just wishing people back to life. And certain characters cannot come back to life because of the Dragon Balls.
Let's go to the other Dragon Balls then.
Yeah, there's several sets of Dragon Balls. There are loopholes that we can use to get around this stuff. It used to just be, hey, I wish them back, and then it's like, hey, we gotta wish their body back, and then their soul back, and then wish them to a certain location.
Hey, remember when the Dragon Ball revived people where they died? Let's get that out of here.
Resurrection F sure did remember that. Brought them back in chunks too. I guess you can just go, hey, we wish back everybody that died from Majin Vegeta, and it's just piles of ashes coming back.
Yeah, what happens if somebody had their arm and their leg blown off and they're just dying from blood loss?
Up. Guess what? Who cares? They got wished back, and that's all the thought we're ever gonna put into this.
And shouldn't the population of Earth be so much less? Because there's gotta be people that have been wished back 2 or 3 times at this point.
Absolutely, but I think that a blanket, hey, you get wished back, that means that supersedes. I think the rule is you can't make the same wish twice.
No.
No?
Nope. Because then it would just go, hey, I wish for everybody that died on July 19th to be wished back. And that would be Krillin. But they were like, he can't be wished back.
Could have sworn it was.
The Dragon Balls, such as Grandpa Gohan, Future Gohan, Bardock, the Saiyan Race.
So the Dragon Balls have a often not mentioned rule where they can't wish back somebody if they've been dead for over a year, I believe it is, or is it 2 years? Doesn't really matter. But hey, guess what? What does bringing back Gohan do? Nothing. There are no Dragon Balls in the future. So how do we? Hey, that person's time. There's so much to explain there. Bardock and the Saiyan race to what ends? For what purpose? Now, you're going what they can't do, but I always forget. I think it was in the anime of Resurrection F. Piccolo sacrifices himself for Gohan, and they just go, I could be wished back.
Yeah, why are we even worried?
Yeah, whatever.
You picked very specific sets of people that are not our timeline, so why should we give about adult Gohan? Something that happened 25, 30 years in the past, so and again, to what end for Bardock and the Saiyans?
And Grandpa Gohan was at peace. He saw Goku, they were both happy and have what does bringing them back do?
Would he even want to come back?
So what? Yes, these are things that they cannot do, but what can they do? Oh, almost infinite number of things, especially the Super Dragon Balls.
The Sand Race in their own universe, and most of the Namekians. And I should also specify that not every dragon is the same.
Most of the Namekians brought back?
I believe so. I believe.
Sure.
No, they absolutely were. The only ones that weren't brought back were the ones that Vegeta killed.
Yeah,
They were like, where's the... And I was like, oh, I took them out, so...
Yeah, they brought back all the Frieza soldier, and Vegeta was not a Frieza soldier. So they could not bring them back under that technicality. It's not that they could not be wished back.
That not every dragon is the same or has the same rules. And I believe most people overlook the fact that you cannot wish for everything with the Dragon Balls, as well as the limitations that are granted with the Dragon Balls, and the interesting things that you can learn and do with them. The fact that they learned through the Dragon Balls what the Super Saiyan God power was, and how a god could be formed.
Yes. That is something that otherwise they would not have the information nor the knowledge for.
Hey, let's just have the dragon tell us.
Just tell us. Not going to the Namekians, not searching, nothing. Just tell us. Hey, my daughter is deathly sick. Fix her, Shinron. And he does. Like, what is this argument?
Why couldn't Goku be saved through the Dragon Balls with the heart attack? Because it's natural causes that cause death. But I don't know if it's about, sicknesses that could be healed.
I don't see why it couldn't.
So why couldn't he be saved there?
Are you talking about our timeline or the future?
Future. Where he dies.
It was probably where it was just so sudden that he just drops. And they're just like, hey... Dragon Balls all over the world. 3 or 4 hours. He's already dead.
3 or 4 hours? Based on what? They're so fast.
But there's only one Dragon Radar.
That's true. Why is there?
Shut up. It needs special parts.
You're the richest woman on the...
Special parts!
Okay, so what happens if it breaks? Because I think
you make another one.
I think she has repaired it before.
She's made other ones as well.
So
what? What's the point?
I guess nothing.
As well as criminal removing 17 and 18's bombs. And can't forget lastly, even some Zenny. So these are mostly the main criticisms I see a lot when people...
So you're just saying what they did do.
Outside of just resurrecting people.
So... they can resurrect people, they can't resurrect people, and they can do a bunch of random things that otherwise the characters could not do. And the Dragon Balls are therefore not irrelevant. That's the problem. He's arguing that the Dragon Balls are irrelevant. Not that the Dragon Balls are overpowered or useful or whatever. One person said that the Dragon Balls are irrelevant, and he's attacking that.
And even then, it mostly holds true because it's mostly just used as okay, everything is over, let's reverse the consequences of everybody dying. As opposed to something like the Beerus thing where it's like, what is a Super Saiyan God? Most of it is just reverse course, please. Bring them back, please.
At the end of the Frieza saga, it was just like, hey, they brought back everybody back. And then 6 months later, they brought everybody else back. It was like 2 panels. It's meaningless.
Off the top of my head, I think there's been 6 wishes shown that wasn't bring someone back. Or bring them to a different area. Shrug shoulders. And why did Goku not come back where he died?
Shut up.
In the Saiyan Saga.
That's only a sometimes rule.
So when is the sometimes?
Sometimes. Because that was the problem on where they would just go, we'll bring back Krillin. Like, he'll come back in Namek, and Namek is go boom, and he'll just be in space and die again. So it's just a sometimes rule. It's a fun sometimes rule.
When we feel like it.
Yep.
critique.
Whenever we need a conflict of, hey, we can't exactly make that wish.
Dragon Ball. And I know that there is a lot more that people do say, and there's pretty much more I could go into, but I think this is fairly enough. Depending on the response and how this video goes, I can make a part 2. Just to make things clear and wrap this up again, I am fully aware that Dragon Ball is not for everybody and that it is not perfect. It has its own flaws, criticisms, issues, just as much as any other anime and manga. My main problem is people just hopping on the trend and citing things that their favorite anime does a little bit better, or stating some invalid reasons to why they just don't think that it's good. If you are a fan of Dragon Ball and you know some people out there that don't like it or are very much misunderstood and missing context, please show them this video. If you're not a Dragon Ball fan and you checked out this video, please tell me below if I was eligible to change your mind or not. Or if you are just an anime or manga fan just checking out this video, please like, share, and comment below
This
yourself.
is a guy that's gonna
and if you like
comment on
content
our
like this,
video.
please think about subscribing to the channel.
That
and
was
follow
very
me on other
loud.
social media links.
loud,
With that being said, as always, I'll see you around.
Oh, it's Jujutsu Kaisen.
Why wouldn't it be? It's the new Dragon Ball.
Man, I need to find that backing track. I really like that. A nice little 3-minute groove.
8.5.
Yeah, I was going 9. He didn't really say anything. It's just
It was a lot of fluff, under-explaining.
half arguments.
Some of the editing was good. Some of it was just very choppy.
I need that backing track.
Yeah.
Comment that, yeah.
Not much else to say about that one.
I mean, he didn't really explain why it's overhated.
Nope.
He just explained some of the perceived problems. Didn't really explain
And then
them.
went, they're not really problems because look at the slice of life stuff. But I was talking about the plot.
Ippo. Oh, I guess Ippo.
Hey, Ippo real good, y'all.
It don't have a plot. Yeah, it do.
And I guess that's it.
The supporting characters are trash. Not necessarily. What about
They're irrelevant.
what about this thing that happened 3 months ago, huh?
All right, what about before that? Oh, this thing that happened like 20 years ago. See?
Corin.
Got him. Well, we're still using the beans to this day. How can you say they don't have relevancy?
Dragon Ball fans, man. They are a special breed.
Special breed.
I cannot believe.
I had to just stop talking to that Dino dude in our comments. He went nuts.
Yeah, I was never gonna touch that. But I don't know what it is. Dragon Ball does something to people.
It's people attached a lot of their personality and potentially ego to it because it's what they grew up in and it's the first foray into the thing that they love. Just like with me and DMX. DMX is always going to be my favorite rapper because he got me into rap. So, but you know, I can.
You constantly go, yo, that last DMX album was doo-doo feces.
Dude, there's so many DMX albums I listen to. I'm like, this is just not good.
But this dude just goes, yeah, I understand people saying that the supporting characters are trash, but the beans. He goes, yeah, it's not perfect, there are flaws, and he didn't really. He says that it's his favorite and the best, so by that metric, at least the best means that it has the least amount of flaws to good things by some metric. I don't know what he's using. Whatever, doesn't really matter.
Yes.
I'm just like. Dragon Ball is very interesting.
It's interesting in discourse.
It's interesting to hear what people have to say about it, which is why I always want as many videos as possible, because people are just like, yo, it's iconic, it's over here, it's fine, we're bumping it, everybody's bumping it, we all know why it's good.
Here's Gumball doing a Super Saiyan and we're out.
Not touching them Mark videos. I'll say that for free. I'd like to be free of Mark for a little while because Mark is terrible.
Yeah, how much more could there possibly be for Mark?
Infinity
Fame?
He's trudges his way through Dragon Ball proper, and then he's going to Berserk more than likely.
It's disgusting how much he just went. I'm the Dragon Ball guy. Okay, what's popular series that people love? Let me talk about that so I get even more views.
Oh, the most popular shonen of all time, One Piece? Let's go. Oh, one of the most beloved shonen of all time, Hunter x Hunter? Let's go. one of the most beloved manga of all time, with the manga having recently passed away, Berserk. Let's go. Nothing small, nothing like, hey, I will constantly pimp Sket Dance. Every time somebody says, what's your favorite manga? It's always, One Piece, whatever, Sket Dance. And nobody's bumping Sket Dance, but it's one of the greatest things of all time. And Mark just chooses not to broaden his horizons with smaller things and introduce his audience to those smaller things. He just goes, hey, you like this thing, so let me talk about this thing that you like.
It also hurts that he's kind of pig-headed in that he wants official translations and official books. Like, he wants the volumes to read them, as opposed to using a Shonen Jump app or something, which would vastly broaden his horizon. I read all of Spy X Family in like 6 days, and my God, read Spy X Family. So, yeah, we're out of here.
Don't know what we're doing next.
Don't never know what we're doing next. We should probably live stream something this week. What an anti-content bum.
Market. That's
Dude,
funny.
how far you in the world is with you? You gotta be done.
I'm done. I'm in platinum time.
Post game stuff.
Yep. So fun. So
Yeah, I bet it is. Yeah, chef kiss. All right.